Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1599. Happy Friday. It is a happy Friday. Go Cubs. We got to sing the song. We get to tie up the series. We get to play another game. Now it's do or die. Now it's lose or go home. Saturday night, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Cubs Brewers. I'll be at dinner, birthday dinner, wife and grandma. So not going to miss that. Go Cubs. So I'm going to do a brief show this morning because it's already 9:20. So no name that player today. I am like completely out of whack. I'm completely out of whack. I was going to do a double dip tomorrow and do the show in Milton. Check out that show and go to the card shop in Fort Atkinson. And then I realized that show's on Sunday. I'm not going to the show on Sunday. I have heard it's mostly Pokemon. So the only reason I wanted to make it a double dip, I think the card shop might be open on Sundays in Fort Atkinson, but I don't know. I just don't like doing things on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. So it's possible I just go over to the card shop tomorrow afternoon. However, I also scheduled I also scheduled a eBay Live for Saturday night, forgetting that I'm going out to dinner on Saturday night. So I will not be doing an eBay Live on Saturday night unless I decide to go late. I wonder what time I bet our dinner's early. Maybe I'll just reschedule it for like 8 and still, because I don't want to miss a Saturday night. I'm gonna reschedule it for 8 p.m. and it's probably gonna be like 8:30 because I don't think we'll be back by 8, but maybe 8:30. We'll see. Depends on what time we're taking grandma. So reservations are probably going to be early. So my whole weekend, because I'm a flake when it comes to planning. See, this is why I don't plan, because I suck at it. I'm not a good planner. Like, see, look at that. I planned out the week and I fucked up. That's what planning does. That's why I have to take it one day at a time. Otherwise, I fuck shit up. So I planned ahead and look what it got me. Every time I plan ahead, I fuck it up. So just got to stop planning ahead, I guess. I planned ahead two things. I only planned ahead 2 things, and I fucked them both up. I fucked both things up that I was supposed to plan. And here we are. Rewriting the weekend. Now what the hell do I do? So I'll just do a late show on Saturday night. I'm okay with that. I'll sleep in Sunday. I'll hit up the card shop on Saturday afternoon. I think I'm going to do a pop-up show this afternoon. I haven't scheduled it yet because you know what happens when I plan ahead. So I got to get my wrestling night stuff sorted out. And I'm going to get some of that shipping done. And then I think I'll do like a 1:00 stream this afternoon. I don't think I have anything going on. We'll do a late show on Saturday, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central. I'm not going to plan anything on Sunday afternoon. So there we go. So most of the game, the first 7 innings, I think my wrestling stream actually went longer than I anticipated, which is good because it went well. But bad because I wanted to watch the Cubs game. So I was a little distracted at times. But they had a healthy lead throughout the game. So I wasn't too concerned. And I was able to watch the 7th, 8th, and 9th undistracted from eBay Live. So eBay Live last night went really well. Wednesday night was not good. Wednesday night was rough. But last night's wrestling stream started off, and I was just thinking about this morning. Wednesday night started off banger. Like an Ohtani base card sold for like $8. Kevin McGonigal first Chrome Mojo sold for 13, which prospects typically don't sell well in my lives. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be a good night. Like if this stuff's selling for this high, and then all of a sudden, like, that's it. That was it. Like 10 auctions in was bangers. And then all of a sudden, wah, wah. And it was rough. It was brutal the rest of the night. And then we ended up just speeding it up. Did a little speed selling at the end. 7 seconds sudden death. Just let's get the hell out of here. And it was kind of like the Cubs game on Saturday. Like, let's just get this game over with. That was my feeling on Wednesday night with my eBay Live. All right, I'm getting slapped silly, getting beat up here. Let's just get this over with and move on to the wrestling night on Thursday. So that's what we did Wednesday night. Started off banger, and then the next 190 auctions just absolutely sucked. Last night was different. The first 10 auctions, like, I'm giving stuff away. A Mankind out of 99 sold for $1. Like, I mean, it's not like it's a $20 card, but I thought it would go for $5 at least. An Undertaker X Fractor, which I think had sold previously, and I think it sold for like $10 or $15 last week, sold for $1. And I'm like, oh, and so I kept trying to run like, all right, I'm trying to run good stuff. Nobody's been in the room. Like, there was a decent amount, even early on, there was a decent amount of people where I like, come on, like, even if you get those cards for $2, like, that's a good deal. And it was, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a tough night. But all of a sudden things turned around, and then we were getting things moving. And Ultimate Warrior was a hot select. Hogan was not. Like, last 2 weeks, everybody wanted Hogan. Everybody, like, Hogan stuff was going crazy. Not last night, no. There was one Hogan card that went really high that I was surprised. It was a promo card that they put in. They had a sheet of cards that they put in Coliseum VHS tapes. I think it was maybe three card sheet. I don't know. But the Hogan Andre the Giant sold for like $28. Like, whoa. The Hogan King Kong Bundy sold for like $6, I think, which I was happy with. Like, and I think that might have been the first Hogan card I sold. Yeah, I sold the Hogan Bundy, and then I had two like select Hogans. And those select Hogans last week would have sold for $20. And I think they sold for around $5 last night, which is still good. I mean, I probably pulled them out of a $1 box. So can't go wrong with Hulk Hogan. So lots were moving. I was taking requests on lots for what I had. The women wrestlers were selling for a little better. There was some pockets last week where they were, but for the most part, it was like some of the classics were selling. Some of the serial numbered legends were selling, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio were selling really well last night. Who else was selling really well? Tiffany Stratton ended up selling. The first one went for a little lower. Actually, the first one went for about where I thought it would go. And then the next few went for a little higher. So yeah, we did a progressive. The progressive was about average. I think it sold for like $50. So it was a good night. It was a good night. I did a poll because I'm not like hard set on Thursdays, kind of like but that's just me. Like, I wanted to do Thursday nights, but it's not about me. It's about my customers. When do my customers want to buy? So I did a poll last night. When do you want to see wrestling night? And so basically I want to keep the weekends. Like, I don't want to do any niche specific top theme on the weekends, just because weekends are crazy typically. Now I say that, and this weekend's probably going to suck. That's what, remember me and planning. So I wanted to keep it away from the weekend. So I did a poll Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. And I'm like, Monday night could be a little fun. I typically take Mondays off, but if we do like a watch along Monday night, like, that could be fun. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. And so actually Thursday won like pretty handily. I think there were like 30 votes for Thursday nights, and I think 20 votes for Monday nights. Like, it was a Monday was definitely a close second, but it was still like 30-20 in votes. And nobody vote. Like we had very few votes for Tuesday and Wednesday, like maybe 5 votes for Tuesday and like 3 votes for Wednesday. So we'll keep it Thursday night, our themed wrestling night. The ring worked out, looked pretty cool, in my opinion. And cool is subjective, I would say. If you're not a wrestling fan, you'd be like, that's fucking dorky as hell. That's okay. It is kind of dorky as hell, and I'm cool with that. So now it's like, what else can I put? What else can we doctor? Now I want to like buy more shit. I want to buy more wrestling shit because it's kind of fun. It's cool. So yeah. So it was a good night. It was a good night. I did a little better than I expected. I think so. I need to set the bar lower on like the Wednesday nights and the Tuesday nights and certainly the daytime streams. I need to set the bar a little lower. It's like, okay, I'm doing 200 auctions, especially the daytime streams. It's like, if I can move 200 cards at like $1 to $2, make $300 to $400, make about $300 in a 2-hour stream. Like I think that for a daytime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday daytime stream, I think that's a good bar. And if we get some craziness, like I've had some Thursday afternoons where it's like, oh shit, like the 2025 Donruss Elite was going crazy. Hey, speaking of that, look, Squirrel. I was on Twitter yesterday and I saw a picture, and I had a little time yesterday afternoon. So I saw a photo of somebody who had a Walmart bag full of like Mosaic, and it was football. And I think it was 2025 Mosaic football. And I'm like, oh, really? And so then the wheels start spinning, like a new product. If I go buy a whole bunch of Mosaic football, like the Donruss Elite, weeks after release on Donruss Elite, I caught a pocket where people were just spending crazy, like $8 for a Peyton Manning base Donruss Elite card. That's a quarter card. I'm like, if I can capture that, lightning in a bottle. So I ran to the post office a little earlier than you because I finished all my shipping. I had, I think, 400 orders to ship, and I got it done in like 2 hours because it wasn't like 400 individually. It's 400 cards that sold. But there's a lot of, and they're in one box. They're in one little shoebox, super fast. So 400 orders would take me like 2.5 days in the 70 different boxes I had in the buy it now section. Anyway, so I'm like, ooh, 2025 Mosaic. It's Thursday afternoon. I know at least one of the Walmart stores restocks on Thursday afternoons. I'm going to go run to the post office and head over to Walmart. So I did. It had been freshly restocked. There was a big giant hole. I looked at the tag. The tag said Mosaic, but it said 24 Mosaic, but I bet that was maybe a typo or I don't know. But whatever was supposed to be there, it was empty. Everything else was freshly stocked. So I'm sure the retail shelf clearers were there waiting, drooling, kind of like I was. So did not. And I was like, because I drove to the east side, which it's about a 25-minute drive. And I'm like, since I'm over here, I better buy something. And I'm looking, and I didn't buy any. Like, it's like, there's nothing here that, yeah. So I think the only 2025 football was Score. Like, if they would have had Donruss, I think they had some Donruss Elite fat packs. But I'm done. Score's been out for a while. Like, if they had Donruss, like, I'd be all about that. But yeah. So I didn't buy anything. Wasted trip. Oh well. It would have. Hey, if there was 2025 Mosaic there, it probably would have paid off handsomely. So there you go. So that's what I did yesterday. I shipped, made a Walmart run, and did a little wrestling night on eBay Live, and the Cubs won. It was a good day. Yesterday was a good day. Today I'm looking to get these wrestling cards shipped out and do a little afternoon delight. We'll do a quickie. I gotta figure out what I did. Hey, I did start finally hauling some boxes up to my car to take to the storage unit. So, um, making a little progress on that. Making very teeny weeny progress. I had an annoying eBay, and he's been like, and I think this is one of the downsides to live selling is you'll get buyers that sometimes they stick around and they'll be there with you through thick and thin. Sometimes all of a sudden they just disappear. And then sometimes they get buyer's remorse. And I had a buyer's remorse case from what day is today? Friday. So was it Wednesday night? I had an auction, and this user has been in a lot of my streams, and I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look to see what his record is as far as what his purchase record is. But the name's familiar, and I don't know if he's one that just is always in the chat and never buys, but he has bought. So he put one single bid on a card, won it on Wednesday night, and then wanted to cancel. And he sent the cancel right after the auction on Wednesday. And it's just it's annoying because now I've got to go back. But it was like a $2 win or what. So I'm like, that's fine. So I didn't get to it right away. So yesterday morning, he's like, hey, I put this cancel in last night. I want a refund. And I'm like, all right, so this is annoying. So once I got to, I canceled the order. All good. Then all of a sudden last night, I get bombarded with messages and photos. Same buyer that hit the cancel the night before and sent the follow-up that he needs a refund. And now he's claiming every single card in his package, he ordered 3 cards in one of last week's auctions that got delivered. He's claiming that all 3 were damaged, and he sent pictures. They're not fucking damaged. One, it's basically, do I have something similar next to me? It's basically on a black border card where it's not completely black. I can pull out, of course, now I'm not going to be able to find it. But it's a close-up, and there's 3 little white spots. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And the first one, I didn't even look at the photos. I'm just like, well, you'll have to open a return request. We're going to go through the proper streams. I'm not going to give a refund without an eBay trail, because then here's what can happen. So seller beware. If somebody sends you an email and says, hey, this card was damaged, I want a refund. Don't just refund them, because then they can open up a claim. And there may be in the back end, there may be something where eBay's like, well, you already refunded this order. So that could be. But I like to follow the proper steps, just return it. And especially when it's a pain in the ass, like this one ended up being, no, you're going to return this, because this is not a damaged card. So in the second or third one I looked at, I'm like, this is not damage. So the first, I didn't even look at the photo, and I'm just like, you'll have to open a return request. He hasn't. And then the second card, I'm like, it was the little 3 little, I'm like, that's not damage. That's not a damage card. That's every single card from that set is going to look like that. And then same with the third. And I'm like, none of these are damage. And that he left me a negative feedback, and he can leave me negative feedback on the others. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to bow down to these assholes that come in. They probably overspent their means, and now they want to get their money back. So that's, I sent a message to somebody I know on eBay that's on live. And I said, hey, does this person buy from you? Here's what happened. And guess what? They responded. Yeah, they've been in our streams. We had a request for damage this week, and it happens to be the same person. So buyer beware. Seller beware, I guess. Seller beware. So, but hey, that's eBay. That's not just eBay. That's Whatnot. That's District. That's Loop. That's Facebook Marketplace. You're going to run in, if you do enough transactions, you're going to run into these problem buyers. But it's just one of those annoying things. And it's not just live selling, it's static selling. Hell, it can be a garage sale for I bought this and it. Anyway, let's go to the chat. Well, we're going to make this a quickie show today since it's already 9:40. Kevin's in the house. Good morning, Lakeland, Florida. Unicorn Cupcakes in the house. Good morning. Uncle Rich is here. Well, even without NTP, still hit and like that like button and sub. Yeah, name that player. Yes, we're skipping name that player this week. Gem City says, second rule of selling on live, don't burn yourself out. First rule, don't let up. Exactly. That's what I yesterday, I don't know, was it yesterday afternoon? No, I think it was I don't know. It might have been yesterday. I don't know. I was just super tired. I think it's been every day this week. I was super tired. And I told my wife, and I'm like, God, I'm so tired. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting a cold or if it's just the weather change. And she's like, I don't think it's either of those. You've been working around the clock every single day. And I'm like, yeah, but I went to the Cubs game on Monday. I went to Anawan on Friday. Like, I'm not I didn't work during those, but it's like every other waking hour, I'm pretty much like, it's like, I don't let up. That is, it can be a problem. And I do get burned, but I don't get really burned out. Like, I did this when I was in radio. Like, I would go and it was even worse when I was in radio, because now I'm sleeping in. I couldn't sleep in radio. There was a time I was also in my mid to late 20s when I was in radio. So it's a little different. I'm now in my early 40s. So a little different times. But one thing, I would get 2-3 hours of sleep. And sometimes it's because I was out at the bar the night before, go to work a little hungover. But toward the end of my radio career, before I transitioned into the university, I was broadcasting, especially in basketball season, I was broadcasting every single night for 4 months. And there were multiple times where I slept in the office. I slept on the floor of my office at the radio station. And there was, I would take vacation days to work, on my side project. I had a website, Illinois High School Sports Network, IHSSN.net. I would cover high school sports all over the state. I would go and I made I hemorrhaged money. Actually, I didn't hemorrhage that much money because it didn't cost much money, but I certainly didn't make any money. So I just did it for fun. It was basically a hobby. And that I wanted to turn into a business, which was kind of the genesis of why I decided to go back to business school, was because I don't know a fucking thing about business, but I want to start this sports broadcasting business, but I don't know where to start. That's kind of why I decided to go back to school. And then going to business school made me realize, God, there's no money in radio. Fuck that. I'm going to sell baseball cards. So I took a couple of vacation days and I drove down to the way down south, Benton, Illinois, home of Doug Collins, where Doug Collins played, and Carmi, White County, way down there. So I did two nights. I drove down. It's 5 hours, a 5-hour drive down to Benton. And I think, was Benton the first night? No, Carmi, White County was the first night. So I went down to Carmi, White County. This would have been Christmas, around Christmas time. This was for a Christmas tournament. And so Carmi, White County was hosting a tournament. Benton was hosting a tournament. And they were, I don't know, there's maybe 10, 15 miles, 20 miles. I don't know the difference between the two. But I go to Carmi, White County. And I did I think it was a triple header on was it a Wednesday? No, it would have been a Tuesday night. Was it a Tuesday? Tuesday night triple header at Carmi, White County. And then I think I did a triple header the next night in Benton. After the tournament in Benton, I went to the gas station and got one of those 5-hour energies, because it's 10:30 on a Wednesday, because then Thursday I had a game up in the Quad Cities. So I did 3 games on Tuesday night down in Carmi, White County, very southern Illinois. 3 games in Benton, the next night, Wednesday night, I chug a 5-hour energy and then probably drank like a Mountain Dew with it, Pepsi. Actually, it was probably coffee at the time. What's the what's the cappuccino? It's probably a cappuccino at that time. And drove through a blizzard. This was a blizzard that hit St. Louis, like a foot of snow. This would have been like 2010, I think. 2010. Yeah, 2010. So drive through this blizzard. I mean, it took me, this is normally like a 5-hour drive. I think it took me like 7 hours to get home. I got home at like 4 a.m. I had to work in the morning, and I think I ended up, I don't think I had to report at like 5 or 6, but I think I went in at like 7. So I think I got like an hour and a half of sleep. Go do my normal day at the station, and then drive to the Quad Cities and cover a Thursday night game between Alleman and Galesburg, Western Big Six girls basketball game, Thursday night. And then I drive all the way back down to Macomb, which is an hour and 15 minutes. Thursday night, get home at like midnight, sleep, go back and do a whole day on Friday, and then do a Friday night game as Galesburg, and I don't know who they played. I can't remember. I blacked that out. But that was just, I look back and it's like, how in the hell did I do that? Well, I was 27 years old. That was crazy. I probably blogged about that, actually. And maybe we can actually, we can see if I'm exaggerating. I'm going to go find my blog. Okay, so this is the Quest to 150. Let's see. All right. I did 153 games that season. 2010, 2011 was the season. Did the Riverton Shootout, Galesburg United Township, Moline Galesburg, Abingdon West Prairie, Galesburg Dunlap, Galesburg Rock Island, Galesburg Alleman. Oh, here's the blizzard. Was that the blizzard? Nope, that's a different blizzard. Had a lot of snow that year in 2010, 2011. United Township, Elmwood, Abingdon. Oh, that's when they gave me, my buddy Joe Nichols gave me a recliner to broadcast the game in. Let's see. Rockford East, Champaign Centennial, Normal U-High, Benton. Here we go. So, it would have been January 2011. So January 19th. Oh, so I think Benton was. Did I not? Where's the Carmi-White County games? Oh, there it is. Okay, so January 19th. Oh, here we go. January 18th. All right. So I did game 103, Carmi-White County tournament, only East Richland versus Mount Vernon, Indiana. Game 104 was Carmi-White County versus Mount Carmel. Let's see. Let's click on this one. Let's see. I arrived in Benton around 11 o'clock. So this was so after the Benton, or after the Carmi-White County, I drove to Benton. I arrived in Benton around 11. Stopped at Arby's for a couple sandwiches off the dollar menu. Remember the dollar menu? Wow. With a large Pepsi to keep me awake while compiling the coaches' polls. Wow. And I kept working. Man, I was crazy. Now, fuck's that? Game 105 was in Benton, Carlisle versus Hamilton County. All right, let's see newer posts. All right, game 106 was Cesar-Valier versus Pinckneyville. Pinckneyville, great program. Benton versus Oakville was game 107. Oh, but the Thursday game was Rock Island High School, not Alleman. All right, So here's what I did. Let's see. So I did not exaggerate. I actually under exaggerate. Under exaggerate, is that a word? It was 10:50. It was almost 11 o'clock when I hit the road that Wednesday night. It was 10:50 p.m. when I started the car. Some flurries were beginning to fly. Garmin, this is pre cell phone, pre smartphone days, at least for me. Garmin says it's exactly 4 hours. So I did exaggerate on the time. It was 4 hours, not 5. Garmin says it's exactly 4 hours from Benton to Macomb, and I was hoping to shave about 10 minutes off of that time with some faster speeds than recommended. The driving was smooth sailing for about the first 45 minutes. Once I got onto Interstate 64 and headed west, I ran into some nasty snow with snow accumulating on the interstate. As I drove and drove, the time on my Garmin got later and later. It was tricky driving, but I was able to make it safely home an hour late than predicted, shortly before 4 a.m. So, well, my memory is fairly accurate on this. I was able to take some pictures on the drive. The worst portion of the trip was Highway 4 from Interstate 64 to Interstate 55. What kept me going during the overnight hours? Well, I slammed a 5-hour energy about an hour into the trip, but more importantly was probably the hardcore white knuckling of the steering wheel while driving in through the blizzard. So there you go. And then I did the next night I was in Rock Island, Galesburg at Rock Island, and then game 109 I was back home at Galesburg. Did I do? And then game 10. Wow. And then I think I did 121. Oh, I only did one game on Saturday. Oh, wait, no. Maybe I did the games. Champaign Centennial. I think I did 2 games on Saturday. All right. So there you go. All right. Where are we at? Let's see. That dude from Duryea, what's up? Still can't believe the way the Phillies got bounced. They can't hit an elephant's ass with a snow shovel. That was a bummer. I was rooting for the Phillies. Uncle Rich says in Orlando and Dr. Jim on Hobby Hotline. Now that is must-see YouTube TV tomorrow morning. Hobby Hotline, Orlando and Dr. Beckett. Unicorn laughs at that dude. Gem City says, do you keep a note-taking device in your pocket? I would suggest you have that with you at all times. I don't. I have tried. I've tried a couple things. I've tried a planner because I like writing things down. I've tried a planner. I've tried a notebook, and I'm not disciplined to take actual notes. And hell yeah, your wrestling stream was very fun. We had a good time last night. That dude says sales have been strange for me. Lesser players have been selling high and stars going cheap. That's an interesting insight. Tracy's in the house. Happy Friday. Have a blessed weekend. So ready for a 3-day weekend. Oh, is the post office closed on Monday? Is that like is it Columbus Day? I thought I saw. Oh, when I was shipping yesterday, I saw some of my shipments aren't due until like a way out. I'm like, that's like 6 days away. I'm like, why is that so late? So I'm assuming Monday is a holiday. Gem City says my wrestling fandom is limited to like 5 years as a kid, and the random stuff I see now. Ivar is 100,000% underrated. Dude is an effing bomb. Sports card ripping teacher. What's going on? It's been so long. Cubs win. Now we have Sister Jean, who threw from the mound, helping Rhino versus Bob Euchre. Go Cubs go. Yes, sorry. It was sad to see. Sister Jean had just turned like 106. Her birthday was just recently, like a month ago, I think. So Sister Jean did pass away. So we've got Sister Jean and Ryan Sandberg, Bob Euchre. Gem City says, random Bears cards or fan question. Why does Tyson Bagent have such a good aftermarket for being a backup quarterback? Because in Chicago, the most popular player is the backup quarterback, who happens to be Tyson Bagent. And they just gave him that big contract. He's very beloved in Chicago. Tyson Bagent is a huge... I don't have much luck selling his cards, but there's definitely a bigger market for him than other backup quarterbacks. I think he's going to be a good NFL starting quarterback. Like, and when I say that, I don't mean he's going to be like a top 10, top 15. I think he's going to be a solid quarterback in the NFL. I think he's going to start for probably he'll be a good starter on a bad team. I don't think he's ever going to be putting up big numbers, but I think he's going to be a solid starter. I'm trying to think of a guy who's like a guy that just was a good quarterback, but not just played on bad teams, doesn't get much recognition. Just like an average. I'm going to Google this. This might be a ChatGPT question. Let's ChatGPT it. Like I'm trying, like there's some guys that I just think, but I want some numbers behind it. What are I'm trying to put this into I'm not very eloquent. Okay, so here's some better names. I think he could be like a Steve Bono or a Stan Humphries or Neil O'Donnell, like those types of guys where you just kind of forget about them, but they were solid starting quarterbacks. Like I think that's who Tyson Bagent can be. I think he can be one of those types of players, one of those types of quarterbacks. Unicorn Cupcake says, saw a Fox Business News clip about kids buying cards to invest, basically short term. Brian Steiner was interviewed, mentions how kids like the gambling aspect of investing in these cards if they win, which is, I mean, this is no different than the 1990s. Like, I mean, as soon as Beckett released a price guide, it's on. There's money attached. Like when I was 7 years old in 1989, I was looking up, I would open a pack of cards and I'd be like, this is a 50-cent card. Like this is like, it was gambling to me back in 1989. Like this is there's no change in the only change is the dollar amounts are a lot bigger. Like you're not pulling a 50-cent card anymore. You're pulling a $500 card, Kaboom or something in a Donruss pack. 608 Cody, good morning. Tracy says, I'm having fun this month sorting and doing less buying, making cheap 5-row boxes to sell on Facebook Marketplace. Man, I could not sell water to somebody who hadn't had water in 100 days. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I can't sell anything on Facebook Marketplace. Tracy says, what dollar should I sell I mean, I can't sell mine for 25 and they're like good stuff. Like I've got like, I mean, not good is subjective, but my like closeout quarter boxes, I can't sell a 4-row for $25. Now I have sold a few, but, I don't know, 5-row box, I'd say $25 and see if you get any hits. But I wouldn't like take any less than that. And that's why mine sit. It's like, I'm not going to give mine away for less than that. I mean, shit, there's like more value. If I sell for any less, I'd rather just throw the cards away, dump them in the trash and keep the box. Unicorn Cupcake says, I didn't like it, but that was me as a kid as well. I eventually learned a lesson. Don't know why I care about kids nowadays having to learn a lesson. There you go. See, I mean, I think we were the same way. Like there was a gambling aspect to it. I mean, PAX, like, even if it wasn't like the industry it is today, back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like it was still a gambling aspect. There just wasn't, we just didn't have a price guide and a big market like we do now, or the internet. Merle says, ooh, a quickie and afternoon delight. Yeah, that's right. Unicorn says, I would be like, just don't charge me shipping, keep the card. My bad. Gem City says, Bo, you found my burner account. Merle says, we're going to need this clown's username to add to our block list. My Niners, all spelled out. My Niners is the username. And yeah, he's going on my block list for sure. Especially after the negative was the third strike. First strike was canceling an order. It's like, okay, I'll let that slide. And then all of a sudden, the follow-up, like 8 hours later, like, hey, where's my refund? I wanted to cancel this order. It's like, okay, you're annoying. And then like 3 separate cards you claim damage on. Okay, now you're done. Oh, and the negative feedback is the cherry on top. My Niners, you are on the block list. And since we're talking, I'm just going to do this right now because sometimes I talk about it and then I forget. And then all of a sudden I see them pop up and like, oh shit, I didn't block them. Block bidder, blocking a buyer. There we go. Block. Let's see. My Niners. And you, sir, are on the block list. All right. Unicorn says, I sent out 3 less than $5 cards without tracking, and one guy claimed he didn't receive it. No more cheap shipping on low dollar cards. Won't even list them. So, that happens. It didn't happen as much as you think. When it happens, it sucks. And when you see it, people don't. It could happen one time out of 100, and you're going to complain about the one time. You're not going to say, hey, I got positive feedback on 99 of these. You're going to see the 1 out of 100 instances where this happens. And like it happened very rarely to me because I shipped. That's kind of how I started my low end selling business, was selling 99-cent free shipping, $1.50 free shipping, because I was buying old stamped or not old, but unused old stamps. And I think I was paying like 30 cents per stamped envelope. So I could, the margins worked. And this was before ESE. And even at the very start of ESE, I didn't use ESE because I still had the stamp guy. And then I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody offered him more money, and I just didn't have any stamped envelopes. So started using ESE, and at least with the ESE, you get the tracking isn't great, but you get the insurance, so it's all good. But with the stamps, I'd be curious to see, like in a large volume, like what the different, because like this is anecdotal. I don't have the stats to back this up, but I will tell you, when I used stamps, it was very few times. Like it definitely made it worth selling low end cards. Now, depending on how much you're paying per stamped envelope, if I was, I was probably at that time, it was probably 60 cents per stamped envelope and 30 cents was what I was paying, or it might have been a little bit closer in margin, but say it was 25 cents per order that I was saving. If I get a few here and there, that's okay. But it was definitely, even with the ESE, it was definitely worth doing. But there are headaches that go along with it, because some buyers, the biggest headache to me wasn't when people claim. Actually, that was part of the big headache. The big headache was people, and this still happens with ESE, people claim they didn't get it only because eBay says they didn't get it. Like, I would have and sometimes I would just be like, oh, well, are you sure it should have been delivered 2 days ago or yesterday? Just kind of little small fib. And all of a sudden they respond, oh yeah, I guess I had it, and eBay says it wasn't delivered because there's no tracking. So a lot of people just they're like, I never got this card because eBay's there's no tracking to it. They don't check their mail. So I think that was the biggest problem with that, was people, like, they probably did get it and they probably weren't like they're just not paying close attention to their mail. Low rollers in the house. The card was received, but the card was damaged. I sent pictures of the card to the seller, but the seller would not acknowledge the damage. Terrible seller will not stand behind the product that they sold. That's the negative feedback. Thank you, Low Roller Scratcher. He found it. And now he's on my blocked list. Unicorn says, do you play Coin Pusher skill games? If you invest same amount in Coin Pusher, you can make more than buying Bitcoin. Short term with profit, you buy more Bitcoin. There you go. Low roller, check that out. Gem City says, I used to think sleep was overrated. When you have sleep apnea like myself, it's not overrated at all. Sleep is good. I'm definitely on team sleep, but I think just a comfortable amount of sleep, like 6 to 8 hours, which when I worked at radio, like 6 to 8 hours was like people sleep that long, but I was also in my 20s. Low Roller says, what do you think? And no more repack or mystery packs on Whatnot. I don't care. I don't do mystery packs. I don't do Whatnot. I have no opinion on the matter. Low Roller says, I play a regular skill game slot machine, not coin machine. By the way, I found $4 free bonuses. Merle says, think I will sell some football singles on Whatnot tonight. There you go. Low Roller says, the buyer show has damaged the card of the pictures on your eBay store. Someone called you a clown in your negative feedback. Geez, LRS, you are really indulging in the alleged negativity towards Bo. Do you believe the accuser? He probably does. I sold 1990 Collector's Edge Rookie Rage Kobe Bryant for ComC eBay Live, $75 for $5 investment. I tried this again, only sold the $1.04. I got cocky greedy. There you go. Don't get cocky greedy. Unicorn says, have you had any incidents with other skill gamers lately? Ooh, he got in trouble by checking skill games a couple of weeks by checking machines only. The owner is a jerk. National Indigenous Peoples Day is Monday. Oh, and the common players outselling stars makes sense on a strange level. There's a little psychology behind that. Everyone tries to sell the stars because they know those players, but the commons are not offered as much. Bing, bing, bing. There you go. That's exactly why. Rich says, so those looking will have less options to buy those cards from. The backup QB is always the most popular player on the team. Is Tyson Bagent the best Bears QB ever? Some probably think so. Since Josh McCown. Good morning, Victor. It's a happy day. Baker Mayfield. Milt Plum back in the 60s. Norm Snead around that time. Kyle Orton. Good QB, bad teams. Yeah. Rock Latex. Vinny Testaverde. I don't know if Tyson can be that good. Vinny was good. Both perfectly competent quarterbacks, but never a titleist. Mostly semi-stars from the 70s and 80s over the Schmitz, Bretts, etc. Fan favorite types over Hall of Famers. Scott Mitchell. There's another. Yeah, that's another one. ComC raised their prices for standard. Steve DeBerg. That's another name. Kerry Collins. Did he win a Super Bowl? He went to a Super Bowl at least. Packer record breaker Matt Flynn. Brandon Steiner, ? He was representing another company, but said he was from Steiner Cards. That dude says, I remember spending $5 on an 87 Donruss in 1989 for those hot rookies. Rest in peace, Mike Greenwell. That hit because, man, that 87 tops Mike Greenwell. Man, that card was awesome. Starland Vocal Bank Reference. Good morning, Florida baseball card dude. Happy Friday, Jordan. Gold reaped $4,000 and silver $50. Rich is going off to a taste test. Have a good weekend. Gem City says, Rich, be sure to ask for consent before you taste. Jordan says, 608, you message me on the group. All right, I got to go. We got to take Ernie to school. Happy Friday. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Look for an eBay Live pop-up show this afternoon. Going to probably do an afternoon delight. Little pop-up show this afternoon. So catch me on eBay Live, 1millioncubs.com. Hope to see you there. Have a good weekend.